Welcome to the first episode on Introduction to Environmental Management. This is week 1, and by the end of this lesson, we are supposed to, or the student or the learner, should be able to define the environment, the various components of the environment, natural resource, types of natural resource. So we are going to be looking at these 4 things today. Make everything simple and also understanding. So let's start with the definition of environment. Now, let's look at the definition of environment. So according to Bachanan in 1993, a surrounding, he said, a surrounding, especially the conditions that display a part in determining the growth and development of organism, is referred to as an environment. So we all know the environment are the things around us, or they are the things we see, right? It is made up of 1, living and non-living things, right? And we also have, it is also made up of tangible items and also non-tangible. So let me explain this definition. So the environment is a surrounding, especially the conditions that play a part in determining the growth and development of living organism. I'm a living organism. When we say living organism, it doesn't mean an animal. We are all classified as animals, right? When we say living organisms, don't refer to maybe a millipede and the rest. No, we are all living organisms. So the environment here, it's a surrounding. These keywords, when you are defining environment or some of the things in UPSA, when you are defining some of the things in UPSA, you should bring the keywords. So the environment, 1, it's a surrounding, especially the conditions that play a part in determining the growth and development of a living organism. So they are the surrounding, the things around us. And this environment is made up of the living and non-living things. The living things are the things that have life. They can breathe, but the non-living things do not have life. And also the tangible things or the non-tangible things in the environment. The tangible, they are the things we can touch or see, but non-tangible we cannot see nor touch. Please, I hope this is clear. So this is the definition of environment by Bachanan in 1993. There are a lot of definitions, but I decided to bring this one to make this simple and very understanding to you. Now, in essence, the environment is constituted by the natural world, that is the biosphere. We have the built environment and the socio-cultural environment. So 1, we have the natural world, that is the biosphere, the built environment, and the socio-cultural environment. So we'll be looking at these 3 things here. Now, let's look at the natural environment. So the natural world is known as the biosphere. Now, under the natural world, we have these 2. We have the biological, that is the biotic, or we can say this is living things, and we have the abiotic or non-living things. Now, if we say biological or biotic, meaning living things. So what are the living things that can be found in the environment? We have plants, we have animals, and we have humans. And under the abiotic, that is the non-living thing, we have the land, because non-living things cannot breathe. They don't have life. So land, we have water, we have climate, we have soil, rocks, and mineral. So whenever you hear biotic, it means living thing. Whenever you hear abiotic, it means non-living things. So don't be confused with these 2. Now let's move to the built environment. Now, we move to built environment. So built environment, as the name implies, everything that is being built by human. So over here we have the built environment. So it means that all the things in the environment that are being built by human, it's made up of this built environment. So what are the things built that what are the things that made up or makes up a built environment? So one, we have buildings. So buildings, what again? So buildings, we have vehicles. They are man-made. The vehicles. We have bridges. We have furnitures, and so on. So the built environment can be also or is also known as the man-made environment. So don't be confused when you see or when they ask you for the another name for the built environment, that is man-made environment. So anything in the environment that is built by human or man is built environment. Okay, so let's move to the social cultural environment. Sorry. So let's move to the social cultural environment. So we move to the social cultural environment. Now, when we say social cultural environment, it is how people live and organize in a society. So this is how people live and organize societies, right? So over here, this includes the economic system, the social system, and the political system. So this is how, this is how people live and organize society, right? This includes one, the economic system. So the economic system. Two, you have the social system. Then three, you have the political system. Now, when we come to the economic system over there, that is where money, anything that makes up an economic system. So we say money, we have jobs, etc. Then we have social system. So the social system is where we have family, anything social. So education. Now let's move to the political system. So the political system is made up of the government. So the political system is made up of the government, and we have the law, etc. So social cultural environment is how people live and organize societies, and this includes the economic system where we have money and job, we have social system, we have money, we have family and education, and we have political system. That is where we have the government and also the law. So this is social cultural environment. Now let's move on. So now let's move to Earth or biosphere. So when we say Earth or biosphere, it has unique characteristics that makes it possible for life to flourish. So it is made up of these three main components. So the Earth makes it unique for it supports life. Yes, it supports life. And this is made up of these three main components. We have one, we have the hydrosphere, into brackets, we have water. We also have the litmosphere. Don't worry, I'll explain it. We have the litmosphere. And three, we have the atmosphere. Atmosphere. So these are the three main components of the Earth. So these are the three main components of the earth. Now, let's take the first one, that is the hydrosphere or water. So about 71% over here, let's say this is the earth, right? Now, let's divide the earth into two. This is 180, this is 180, right? So 180 divided by 2. So you have 90. So when we divide this, you are going to get 90, right? So 90, so over here, let's say from here to here. So from here to here is 71%. So about 71% of the Earth's surface includes water. So it includes the ocean, it includes the sea, the lakes. And also when it comes to the litmosphere, we have about, so the litmosphere is where, or it consists of minerals, that is the rock and soil. So it has about 29% of them on the Earth's surface. And also for the atmosphere, it is 100%. The atmosphere contains gases for breathing. So the gas we breathe is from the atmosphere. So that one covers, I think, 100%. It covers 100%, right? So these are the three main components of the Earth, right? We have the hydrosphere, litmosphere, and the atmosphere. So now let's move on to natural resource. We look at natural resource, right? So natural resource is anything useful to man or can be transformed into useful products. So the natural resource can be biotic or abiotic. I've already explained this. So when we say biotic resource, it is the one that is directly or indirectly derived from photosynthetic activity of green plants. So when we say photosynthetic, we know photosynthesis. It is the process whereby plants mix or manufacture their own food, right? So when we say this biotic, I made mention earlier that we mean living things, right? Living things. So put this in mind. This is living thing and this is non-living things. Always put this in your mind. So we said biotic resources are the one that is directly or indirectly derived from the photosynthetic activity of green plants. So example is food. We also have fruits. We also have milk, etc. Then let's move to abiotic resource. So abiotic resource is the one that is formed not as a result of any biological result activity. So, or any biological activity. Example includes mineral, fresh water, etc. So these are the natural resources we have. Now, what are the natural resources we have in Ghana? There are a lot of natural resources we have. There are lots of natural resources in Ghana. Now, let's look at renewable or non-renewable natural resource. Now, let's look at renewable resource. So, renewable, as the name implies, they are resources that can be regenerated. So, examples. So, let's say they are resources. They are resources that can be regenerated, right? Regenerated. Example is food. We have the solar energy. So all these can be regenerated, right? So things that can be regenerated is termed as renewable resource. Now let's look at non-renewable resource. So non-renewable resource. So this is the last thing. Non-renewable resources in Ghana. So, sorry, non-renewable resources. So, non-renewable resources are resources that cannot be regenerated once they are exhausted. So, they can't be regenerated once they are exhausted. So, example is fossil fuel. So, here they are resources that cannot be regenerated once exhausted. So when you say exhausted, it means once used. So example is fossil fuel. One example is fossil fuel. So fossil fuel, cars use fuel, right? When when a driver goes to the petrol station or a fuel station to purchase a fuel, once the fuel in the car finishes or gets exhausted, it can't be renewed. So it becomes non-renewable resource. They can't be renewed or regenerated once it is used or exhausted. Please, do you understand? Now let's look at the last thing. Resource importance to man can be grouped into food resource, water resource, energy resource, mineral resource, forest and wildlife resource. So all these resources are very important or essential to man. So this is the end of the lecture. If you are new to the channel, kindly subscribe, leave your comments and also share. Let's all learn and pass our exams. Thank you.